pressure from within his own party. Is that what drove the president to announce a 60-day freeze on eviction from areas hit by the hardest by COVID? And is such a thing even legal? CBN News correspondent Brody Carter has the answers.
Pat, after initially deciding it had no authority to extend the moratorium, the White House then exercised a controversial show of executive power. Now that the president ordered new protections, critics argue he's not only overstepping his power, Pat, he's breaking his oath of office.
This eviction moratorium by the Centers for Disease Control is unlawful and it's unconstitutional because the CDC does not have the power to impose such a moratorium. Congress never gave the CDC that power.
Biden, however, faced criticism and political theater within his own party, like Cori Bush sleeping on the Capitol steps, demanding the government act swiftly to save lives.
It's our work as humans to end human suffering and then to fight against any place where we see the possible perpetuation of it.
So the administration had the CDC issue a new moratorium, rather than go against the Supreme Court ruling that there could not be a fourth extension.
The bulk of the constitutional scholarship says that it's not likely to pass constitutional muster, number one. But there are several key scholars who think that it may, and it's worth the effort.
Despite this move, billions of unspent dollars in federal aid remain available. Virginia working to spend that cash, giving out $223 million to tenants and landlords in need. Well, at homeless shelters like Union Mission here in Norfolk, Virginia, it's close to full capacity. Now, even though the president initiated another 60 days hopeful to give protections to people set to lose their homes, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's smooth sailing from here.
You're more than your address. And so when someone's homeless, a profound impact has come upon that person or that family and the extended family.
With nearly 3.5 million evictions filed each year in non-pandemic years, Reverend John Gray with Union Mission knows all too well the toll homelessness has on people they serve.
Saved my life is saving lives. I mean, what they do here is wonderful.
John Haley currently trying to get out of this situation.
I think it's like organizing in your head what you have to do, steps to get out of that situation, quieting your mind. This is a great place to quiet your mind.
Well, your heart certainly goes out to the homeless, and after living on the streets of Washington, D.C., John knows he's one of the lucky ones getting help. He understands millions of Americans will soon face the same fate of living on the streets. And now homeless shelters and ministries, they face the same 60-day deadline to prepare for a possible rise in the homeless population seeking refuge. Pat?
Brody, we've had COVID and now the potential for a mass of homeless people. You've got the Union Mission. Are they coping properly with these challenges?
They certainly are, Pat. It's faith over fear. When I think of the Bible verse that comes to mind, Psalm 34:4, I sought the Lord. He answered me and he rescued from all my fears. That seems to be how the mission is operating, Pat, at this point in time. Obviously looking for creative housing options for the future. We've only got 60 days to get our ducks in a row, so to speak, Pat. But the mission occupancy is down 50% due to COVID-19. They have every reason in the world, Pat, to be fearful. But they're holding on to that faith as they move forward with the coming days. And at the end of the day, it is faith over fear. They've been serving the community since the 1890s. And now Reverend Gray, he told me that at this point in time, he understands God has brought them through so much. So what's to say God isn't going to do it again? Pat?
Well, he will do it. Thank you, Brody. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to realize one of the fundamental rights we have in the United States is to own property. And if you take away the right of a landlord to collect rents, what is a landlord going to do? Say the guy's got a two-family home and he lives in one half of it, but he needs the rent to pay his mortgage. So the Biden administration says, I'm sorry, we're going to cancel your right to collect rent. So he loses his property. And all across America, there would be economic chaos. And then who would want to rent? That's the thing. Why would you let some squatter come into your house, into your apartment, into your dwelling, if indeed you couldn't throw him out? And so it's going to ultimately hurt the poor and the less fortunate, but it's going to destroy the housing of America. You cannot violate the Constitution. And the Biden administration says, well, we'll find a few scholars who maybe think we can, and then we'll act on them. You don't do that when the Supreme Court has made it clear it's